Hey everybody, I'm here with Plato today, and we're going to be bringing you a story from Forbes. Gal Gadot says Wonder Woman 3 is happening in James Gunn's DCU, raising questions. Yes, it does raise a lot of questions. First one is, why? Why is James Gunn doing this? He got rid of Henry Cavill, but they're going to keep the Ezra's Flash, make a movie about him, let him reset the universe, except it didn't. Then keep Aquaman and give him his sequel. You're going to put Blue Beetle, who hasn't even been in the DCU at all. You're going to put him in the new series. But you're not going to put Henry Cavill in there as Superman. You're going to put Wonder Woman in there, Gal Gadot, and give her a third Wonder Woman movie, even though the second one was trash. I mean, the first one was good, so I'm not entirely against it. The second question is, why is it that all of these characters are here, but Henry Cavill can't be here? Why is it that we got rid of Henry Cavill? Especially when they look exactly the same, him and the other actor for Superman. Let's read about this, because I'm concerned now. At first, it seemed like it was kind of a fluke with Henry Cavill being let go, and he's off doing his own show now. While James Gunn's upcoming DCU is supposed to act as a fresh start after the Snyder started DCEU, things are getting weirdly complicated. Yeah, I'd say. While in some instances, major heroes like Superman are being recast with new actors, as Henry Cavill was famously not asked to return. Somehow, it appears Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, she will be back as Diana Prince. How is this happening? The details are unclear, but this is the exact quote Gadot gave comicbook.com. "I love portraying Wonder Woman," Gadot said. "It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I heard from James and from Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together." This is weird. Why is it that Henry Cavill is like the only one being left out of everything concerning the DC? And why is it that James Gunn is pushing for old characters to come back? I thought that we were letting go of the Snyderverse and moving on to a new chapter in the DC movies. But it just seems like they're pulling everybody back. I mean, we've got Aquaman 2, we've got Wonder Woman 3, and then we've got Superman Legacy, a completely different Superman. Is this going to be where the Snyderverse is passing the torch off? Wonder Woman 3 was reportedly scrapped after director Patty Jenkins revealed there was nothing she could do to move anything forward. She says she didn't walk away from the movie, but that there was nothing to be done on the studio side with the third film. That appears to have changed, although Gadot's statement comes with no additional information that Patty Jenkins may also return to direct. James Gunn has also not weighed in on the comments yet, which perhaps Gadot was not supposed to share. A Themyscira prequel that takes place before Diana was born and was announced in Gunn's shared DCU slate, but nothing about an actual new Wonder Woman movie with Gadot, clearly. Well, that wasn't in his slate. I mean, you saw all these other movies that were in his slate. Wonder Woman wasn't a part of it. It seems like he's just changing things on the fly now. Is he listening to fan concerns and backlash? But if he is, and he's just kind of throwing this and that in there to keep the old fans, I don't think that this is going to be a winning strategy in the long run. I don't know what the heck James Gunn is thinking or why he's doing any of this. And it just seems, as it rolls along further and further, it just feels like there's something against Henry Cavill. That's all it feels like to me. Why is it that we're not getting a Superman movie with Cavill and we're just completely recasting? The fundamental idea that Gadot would return as Wonder Woman in the DCU past her time in the DCEU raises a lot of questions about how Gunn's universe is handling old characters. While Cavill's Superman is recast, reworked with a younger actor, and Ben Affleck's Batman looks like he will be with a separate actor from the spin-off The Batman Universe with Robert Pattinson, everything else seems more nebulous. Yeah, just nothing seems connected now. I remember when everybody was cheering on James Gunn. They're like, yes, he's finally going to bring the universe to fruition. He's going to give us exactly what we want because he's a great writer and director. He's never made any mistakes in the past, right? But it's not looking like he has much of a plan. It seems like ever since he took over, he's just been throwing like these out and this out and this out. You know, The Authority and Superman Legacy and Superwoman, Woman of Tomorrow or whatever. And now you have Wonder Woman coming back. They're still going through with Aquaman 2. They went through with The Flash, even though a lot of people didn't want it. I did not like The Flash, as some people in my comments are like, oh, I like The Flash. It was one of the greatest superhero movies I've ever seen, and fantastic CGI. Not sure what you guys are talking about, but you do you, okay? I saw it. I hated it, man. And by the way, James Gunn lied. Okay, he said that that was going to reset the universe. It did nothing but change out Ben Affleck's actor with George Clooney. How is that a reset? Please someone explain the logic of how the Flash movie resets the DC universe, because I've watched it a couple of times now just to make sure, and I still have no idea. Gunn has previously implied that actors like Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa could potentially reprise their Flash and Aquaman roles in future projects, but there has been no news at all as to how that might happen. And a Flash sequel starring Miller seems impossible, given that it's WB's biggest bomb ever. Even though there is a fan base for the Snyderverse, it's not like these movies are succeeding financially or critically. I mean, they've been so-so, like they've been up and down big time for years. And everybody has been expecting this universe to die for quite some time. Now, that's not to say that I don't love some of the DCEU characters and movies. I love Man of Steel, and I like Batman vs. Superman. I thought Justice League Snyder Cut was incredible. And I wish that they had continued off of that, or at least kept Cavill, especially since they were hinting at it in Black Adam. You know, Black Adam went out of its way to put Henry Cavill at the end of the movie in the after credits scene. That excited a whole bunch of people. So the fact that this is being scrapped and Superman's being scrapped and we're getting a new Superman, which is cool and all, but now everything just kind of seems disjointed and dirty, and it doesn't feel right going into this new universe knowing that it's not actually a reboot. This isn't a reboot to me. It just seems like a continuation of the Snyderverse, but even more disjointed, and that they're propelling themselves into a multiversal storyline just like Marvel. And that's a losing strategy, because Marvel has no idea how to tell a multiverse storylines. They really don't. And now James Gunn is going to try it here? I don't see how this is going to work. And I'm being completely honest right now. Momoa has previously said he would always be Aquaman after rumors that he might shift DC positions to Lobo began to emerge. Aquaman 2, which was supposed to be the de facto DCEU finale, has yet to release, and if The Flash is any indication, it may be headed toward turbulent box office waters. An actual Wonder Woman 3, which apparently would continue a specific DCEU trilogy, is an entirely different kind of leap, and it's hard to make sense of it. But Gunn has other unanswered questions about the DCEU. Will Margot Robbie return as Harley Quinn in future projects, given that she just starred in his own Suicide Squad film? Gunn's show Peacemaker, which has a second season on deck, is also directly spawned out of the DCEU. Yeah, I was talking about that in my previous video too. I mean, we've still got the Peacemaker cast coming back. They've got a second season, I believe, and he's planning on putting Peacemaker in future movies, as far as I know. And I could totally see James Gunn bringing Harley Quinn back. I mean, yeah, that's his movie that he made, and that was probably the best version of Harley Quinn that I've seen in a movie so far. And I'm not counting Birds of Prey. I'm not counting the first Suicide Squad. I know that David Ayer tried. He tried. And I think that even if we did get an Ayer cut, it probably still wouldn't be that good. I'm just being honest about that. And I know that there are a lot of people who love the old Suicide Squad. But yeah, I could see James Gunn bringing her back. He seems to have a habit of doing that. He brings his characters into new universes. It's exactly what he's doing. I just don't know if this is an actual reboot anymore, or if it's just a continuation with multiverse plastered on top. You know what I mean? It just seems like a multiverse thing going on right now. And I'm really sick of Hollywood pushing the multiverse idea. Wish they'd just let it go and start telling original stories again. You know, go back to the old Marvel formula where you tried to build the world and build the characters before you try something fantastic and gigantic like this. It just doesn't make any sense why he's doing it, unless James Gunn is trying to purposely destroy the DC universe, which I would like not to believe, but none of this makes any sense to me. Let's continue. You can see how this is a lot messier than the initial clean slate idea, and Gal Gadot's statement here is the most confusing yet. We'll see if Gunn himself might make any sense of this. There's actually another story I want to share with you guys. Check this out. Gal Gadot on Wonder Woman 3. What I heard from James Gunn and Peter Safran is that we're going to develop it together. Gal Gadot is keeping the hope for a Wonder Woman 3 alive despite the big changes going on at DC Studios in an interview with comicbook.com while promoting her upcoming Netflix action movie. And you're going to love to see these comments too. Says she is great in the role, but play it straight like a superhero, not a comedy or a tie-in to another movie or universe. It seems like people are already approaching this with optimistic skepticism, I should say. And And Jeff says, I think there's a memo that she didn't get. They're rebooting all the characters. Yeah, allegedly, but it doesn't appear that way anymore. It doesn't appear that they're doing a reboot at all. It just seems like a continuation, like I've mentioned. Keeping any of the actors from the Snyder movies is a huge mistake. I believe so, especially since you've been telling people that you're not going to be doing that. Since everyone is on strike, we will see when or if this will happen. I would hope they spend a few years on the script and actually make it good rather than just pump out more garbage. Well, if they're gonna take time and write it and try to make it good, sure. But you have to make this universe work. I know that if I'm feeling this way, that Snyderverse fans and new DCU fans are probably feeling the same way in some respects. This is like the weirdest thing I've seen coming from James Gunn. You know, nothing seems to fit. Nothing's adding up. I don't like it. This person says a grudge match, Wonder Woman versus Captain Marvel, otherwise I'll pass. Isn't that funny, Plato? I thought it was funny. And then this person said, why not? The last one was a smashing success. So yeah, here you go. There's some of the opinions. I'm not the only one who feels this way, but I'm very curious to see what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and share it, and if you want to see more like this, consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Say goodbye, Plato.